All right. Well, looking live at sold out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Cleveland Browns. And why are the Cleveland Browns 0-16? Because they suck. Haven't won anything since 1964. That was the year I was born. Haven't won in 60 years. Nothing. No Super Bowl. Haven't been to a Super Bowl. Nothing. That's a bad team. They're horrible. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all? It's going to spend a little bit of time with me here to see if I greatly appreciate it. Oh, my buddy Rainey's here. We can continue. All right, buddy. Welcome aboard, pal. Anybody's going to spend any time with me here to see if I greatly appreciate it. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Means the world to me. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free. Fire away with the comments. But seriously, also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So once again, please feel free. Fire away with the comments. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. Description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Maybe give this video a thumbs up or share this video. That would be freaking awesome. And then finally, also just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link. I'll go over that in just a second. The second link, the one underneath it, I'm an old-time fart. I can't stand change. I like things just the way they are. I'm too much of a moron to have to think and adapt and all that stuff. It's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. Will always be Twitter to me. I'm one of them get off my lawn type old-time farts, right? Can't stand change, right? Keep stuff the same, right? Why do we got to change stuff, right? It's a Twitter link. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff in my Twitter account every day. And then finally, the link on top of it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. We have over 8,500 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in this group, but the members post stuff in this group as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, guys. Well, we got another one of those the wilderness weeks here. So, but today is actually, we're getting there. Yeah, today's the 24th, soon to be the 25th, but it says June 24th, July 24th, so in exactly 1 month, right? Training camp. It'll be the 16th, I'm going to say, is when the rookies, the rookies, July 16th will be there. The 23rd, that's when the veterans show up. And then the 24th is when they put the pads on. So, actually, it's not even a month. Because you figure the rookies are going to show up in a few weeks. So you got, what do we got? The 16th and another bit. So, a little over 3 weeks. Right? Is that right? Soon to be the 25th. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 36 days, and 16. Yeah, like about 3 weeks. Right? Yeah, 3 weeks that the rookies will be showing up. So, It'll be here before you know it. 3 weeks, rookies will be showing up. 1 week later, the veterans showing up, and the very next day after that, pads will be on. They'll be knocking heads and all that. Good times. I love it. One of my favorite times of the year. I mean, I love. Basically, there's no time of the year that I hate, but I mean, basically for me, every time of the season has something special to it, and even for this, even when there's like the wilderness, there's like nothing going on. To me, I just try to bring out the joy in everything, right? I try to look at the good side of everything. This is just before the beginning of not so much the storm, right? But before the beginning of everything. As I said, the one thing, like I always relate this back to when I was a kid, like whether it was my birthday or Christmas. Those are my two favorite times. I love that, right? So you figure, whatever, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month before your birthday, or 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever, before Christmas, you got to get, you got some presents coming. I mean, I didn't get a ton of presents, but whatever. I got 4, 5, 6 presents, whatever it was. I love Christmas because we go to my grandparents' house, right? I get some presents. I get 4 or 5 presents there. And the next day we'd open up presents at my house. I get 4, 5, 6 presents there. And then we'd go visit somebody else's house and I get a few more presents there. So Christmas, I love Christmas. The same thing with my birthday. I get a present, so it's the anticipation. And was the excitement building up to it. Because once your birthday was here, it was just like that. It was over with. It's like you look and the presents are all over with. It's opened. It's like, that's it. Same thing with Christmas. It was like the build up to it was the exciting part. Because it was like once Christmas came, the presents opened up. It's like, that's it? What? I got to wait till next year. So it's almost the same thing. It's like the anticipation, the excitement. Because as I said, I've said this, I don't know how many times before. When you start getting older, my mom always told me that. You just wait till you get older. Time really starts to fly by fast, and she's right. At least for me, anyway, it just seems that way. It's like once the season starts, it's like it's fantastic. There's no. I mean, for me, it's football is number one, right? I mean, I love all the other sports. I even love soccer, baseball, soccer, everything. I love it all, but the amount of time I have, I can only really follow only so much, So for me, it's football. College football is freaking incredible. Obviously, regular football, obviously, pros is incredible. So basically, that's what pretty much I follow. But I mean, it's like once the season starts, it's like you get so involved in it before you turn around, you look, it's like, oh my God, we've played 5, 6 weeks already. Holy cow. And then, then a couple more weeks goes by and like, holy crap, we played 13 weeks already. We only got a third of the season left. It's just, And then the thing is also is that it's like, because going into the season, everybody's 0-0, right? Everybody's got Super Bowl aspirations, right? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who your team is. Doesn't matter if you haven't won a game in 500 years. Everybody's like, man, we could win the Super Bowl. Everybody's got that. So the other thing, too, is it's also kind of like, once the season starts and like, it's like time's flying by and all of a sudden, you're up to week 12 or 13 or whatever. And if your team stinks, it's like, yeah, we're 2-10. Yeah, we're not. It's like, the season's over. It's like, you played 12 weeks already. It's like your season's over. It's like, yeah, maybe one. Yeah, maybe we can get back to the 22 season. Right, that was a good season. Real good season. Started off strong. A little tough spot in the middle there, but then we rebounded, got into the playoff. That was a real good season. So, anyway, interesting. With Tom Coughlin, apparently, because PFF, I think it was. Let me. With 2007, I think that's when PFF started. Let me see. I got something popped up here. Hold on. Here we go. All right, let me try this here. Let me try. type that in? Okay, here we go. Let me look. NFL season. Oh, no. 2004? Even see if I can type in Michael Strahan. There you go. All right. There's no snap overview. Snaps by position. Do you have 3 minutes to take a survey about snaps by position? Let's see here. Hold on. 2004? 2000. Oh, okay. 2006. Let's try this here. Okay. Let's see. Defense. Okay, here you go. Yes, they got 2006. So it doesn't have. They got some stuff at 2004 and 3, but it doesn't look like they're Michael had playing no weeks in this timeline now. So apparently, I guess they haven't. So with Michael Strahan, it looks like they go back to like 2006. And I'll tell you what, man. I mean, it's a freaking shame. You know what I mean? Now, I don't think he would have helped us win the Super Bowl in 2008. And, I think the way he did it, he won the Super Bowl. He got on his horse, walked off into the sunset. Freaking perfect way to end it. And I don't think it would have mattered if he played in 2008 because I think, I mean, I'll tell you what, our defense was really good. Yeah, once Plexico shot himself, our offense just went down the dumper. Yeah, our offense, really, because we lost, remember the year before, 2008, because remember 2007, toward the end of the season, we lost Shockey, right? And then, he never played for the Giants ever again. So then we got 2008, we were good. We had a good offensive line. We had Eli, good running game. But, we had Toomer, we had Plexico, right? We had Boss, But once, and we had Steve Smith, right? But once we lost Plexico, that really seemed to really hurt our offense. Now, so if Michael played in 2008, obviously our defense would have been even better, quite possibly. Because I'll tell you what, you look at his grade here. I mean, according to PFF, once again, in 2006, I guess he must have missed some time. He graded out at 81.3. His run defense is 88.1. Freaking unbelievable. But in his final season, Michael Strahan he played over 1,000 snaps, 1,080 snaps Michael Strahan did in 2007. And they graded out at 85.5 his final season. Now, of course, you can't get all his other grades because basically, PFF. I thought they started was in 2005, but they have a grade for him in 2006. So now I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get all kinds of film and stuff like that and try to piece it together and everything and try to start going backwards in time and trying to give guys grades, that I don't know. But they got grades for Michael Strahan for 2006. But his final season was 85.5. His run defense was 85.8, Michael Strahan. The complete, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't run to that side and he could sack the quarterback. He could rush the quarterback and he could stop the run. He wasn't one of these Ngakoue kind of guys. Yeah, I'll rush the passer. I'll get you 10 sacks or so. I mean, I'm going to want $500 million a year because, I sacked the quarterback. I ain't tackling nobody. I'm not going to play run defense. No, I just want some money. That's what I want. No. Michael did everything. And that's why he's in the Hall, right? His pass rushing grade, his final season was 74.5. This is his final season. Absolutely freaking phenomenal, right? But if you think about it, it goes here. Did ex-Giants coach Tom Coughlin use PFF to win Super Bowl 46, though? So we're going back to 2011 season, not 42, but 46. So PFF was around, rather established. I wasn't sure when I first saw the article. I wasn't sure which one it was, if it was to the 2007 or the 2011, but it was talking basically the 2011 season because then PFF was more established, had more roots in the ground and everything like that, right? So they obviously as time goes by, they're just getting more and more developed. Obviously, as time goes by. But when you think about former New York Giants head coach Tom Coughlin, you don't generally think of someone who was technology or analytically savvy. No, you don't. Coughlin was an old school football mind who did things in an old school football way. That is, until a talk from his late wife, Judy, led the coach to showing a bit more of his personal side. And that was one of his things, is that I really think, and speaking of Michael, right? Michael was one of the guys, that didn't really particularly like, because when you got some established veterans there, right, and a team, and we had some good players, some very good players, and then you got a coach who comes in who's just, hard nosed, this, that, and the other thing. That can rub some of the guys the wrong way. And it really wasn't really working out that well with Michael. He just didn't seem to, I guess they're just button heads, and Michael tried to, I guess at times tried to, I don't know, whatever, ask him or maybe propose to him. Why don't you coach? All right. Yeah, okay. We got to lighten up a little bit. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just, it's just, there's different ways of coaching, shall we say. Everybody, some people can take the hard-nosed, way. Some players can, some players can't. Everybody, there's no cookie cutter way. You gotta, guys take better. Different situations, like it was even like with Vince Lombardi. Okay, Vince Lombardi, Bart Starr went up to Vince Lombardi and said, "Coach, I can take all the ribbon you want. You got to yell at me, fine, but let's do it behind closed doors. If you want me to lead this team on the field of battle, okay, it doesn't look too good if you're out there chewing me out for everything that I'm doing wrong in front of everybody. Okay. Now, if I get a chewing out coming to me, fine. I'm more than happy to take it, but let's do it behind closed doors where, we keep it, out of the limelight. Right. I think it work better for the team. Okay. If they don't see you chewing out, your leader. Right. And, now, I don't know if he never chewed Starr out ever again, but he never chewed him out in front of the team ever again. I think Horning, I think some guy, he could just yell at some guys, but Jim Taylor, I don't think took very well to being yelled at in front of the guys. So everybody's different. Everybody's different. Some guys, if you patted them, you could yell at them, right? And they would get down and all that. But, it may be in the locker room after the practice was over with. Jerry Kramer one time said he got yelled at by Vince Lombardi. And he said he jumped offside or something like that. And Vince Lombardi went up to him. He said, the attention span of a college student is, I don't know, 5 minutes. A high school student is 2 minutes, and a college and a kindergartner, the attention span is 30 seconds. And you don't even have that because he wasn't paying attention. He just jumped offside on a practice, right? So he says the kindergartner, the attention span of a kindergartner is 30 seconds, and you don't even have that. Where does that put you at? So Jerry Kramer felt like about that freaking big. He's all embarrassed and everything. And he said after practice, he's like sitting in the locker room. He's got his head down. He's like, man, I don't think I can ever play for this guy, And just about that time, Vince Lombardi came into the locker room and walked over to him and he did this with apparently a lot of guys. He would like pat him on the back of the head, or the neck or the back of the head or whatever. And walked over to him and patted him on the back of the head and said, "Son, one of these days you're going to be the best guard in the NFL." And Jerry Kramer, heard that. It's like, it was a breath of fresh air for him. So Vince Lombardi, maybe embarrassed him or whatever in front of her, but then he built them back up, and when a lot of these players thought that there was like no way to humanly possibly ever play for a Vince Lombardi, right? So he's knocking them down, embarrassing them, and this, that, and the other thing, and then maybe pats him on the back one time, says, "One of these days, you're gonna be the best guard in this league," and it builds them up. So there's all different ways of coaching, but we did see a little bit of a better side, a little more of a more humane side, human side, softer side of Coughlin, as as he went along. I mean, obviously it helped winning the first Super Bowl. Obviously, it's like, hey, maybe because he started getting a little on the softer side when they won the first Super Bowl, because that's when Michael was there. And, Michael, it seemed like Michael saw the softer side up, because once they won the Super Bowl, Michael retired after that. So, so Coughlin saw, hey, maybe I don't have to yell and scream and freak out, every time, and we win a Super Bowl, so, Coughlin changed, but it's just interesting seeing that he quite possibly used some PFF here. As it turns out, that wasn't the only evolution. Let's see. Coughlin was an old school football mind who did things in an old school football way. That is until, from his wife, his late wife, Judy, led the coach, showing a bit more of his personal side. As it turns out, that wasn't the only evolution Coughlin made during his time with the Giants. A brand new book, Football is a Numbers Game, Pro Football Focus, and How a Data-Driven Approach Shook Up the Sports. PFF's Matthew Collar reveals that Coughlin was so enthralled with their analytical data that the company had to hire someone specifically to deal solely with the Giants. That's crazy. The more they got the information, the more that Tom Coughlin wanted to go to former Giants senior director of football information, John Berger, and say, "Hey, can you get PFF to give us this? Can we find out that?" It got to the point where PFF assigned one person just to answer Giants questions. Freaking crazy, isn't it? Collar elaborated on the Giants Huddle podcast. Coughlin and the Giants were so pleased with the help provided by PFF, the PFF employee, that they invited him to Super Bowl 46 on their behalf. Now, how freaking awesome is that, huh? In the Super Bowl, the second time they went to the Super Bowl, they gave that guy a ticket to the Super Bowl because they felt he was so valuable in helping them out and answering whatever Tom Coughlin's questions were, Collar said. Obviously, a lot more than PFF data went into defeating the Patriots for the second time in 4 years. Yeah, but Coughlin, unbeknownst to many, consumed every bit of it he could, and it clearly paid dividends. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because, I mean, you also figure, a lot of these, coaches, they have their own way about them. It's my way or the highway and all this stuff and everything. It's analytics. I ain't got time for that. We run, we block, we tackle, we win. You know what I mean? But then you start showing them this stuff. It's like, this guy, does good doing this. This guy is good at doing that. This guy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, yeah. And then you start showing them all these different stats and all that stuff. It's like, oh, wow, this is pretty helpful. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But that just goes to show you. You can teach an old dog new tricks to some extent. I'm not exactly sure how that would have gone over with the Bill Parcells kind of guy back in the 80s, but it is what it is. But whatever Coughlin used, in 2011, man couldn't seem to get enough of it. It's just a shame that with the bad drafts that we had, okay, and obviously the offensive line started going downhill, and I said that we had some pretty bad drafts, really some very bad drafts. The cupboard started getting bare, really just started getting bare. I mean, you can't draft 7 guys and only 1 or 2 of them kind of make the help the team a little bit. I mean, we really had some really poor drafts. I'm not going to pull up the draft class and all that, but after a while, and unfortunately, however you want to look at it, whether Coughlin quit, retired, got pushed out, got fired, whatever you want to do it, it is what it is. Maybe for his own good, maybe it's a good thing that he wound up, whatever, quitting, fired, retired, whatever. Right? Because, I mean, you saw the SHI show, it was after that. I mean, McAdoo, got us to the, was it 2016, to the playoffs, but that was after, Reese went to Girly World and spent a bunch of money in free agency, brought in a bunch of free agents to help try to bolster the roster, to try to shore up some of the weaknesses that we had. So we had some weaknesses, and for that one season, it really worked out well. The defense was very good. We won a bunch of low-scoring games, close games, right? And of course, they had the boat trip. They got blown out of the water in the in the playoff game to the Packers, and obviously the rest is history. But maybe it was a good thing, that he got out. It is what it is. But it just goes to show you can teach a new dog, an old dog, new tricks sometimes. All right, then next. Got a lot of things here. A lot of things here. All right, next. 5 takeaways from Hard Knocks preview featuring the Giants. We got the New York Giants gathered at Madison Square Garden on Thursday night to celebrate their 100th season. The event, Giants 100, a night with legends, featured icons from throughout Big Blue history, including, of course, LT, Bill Parcells, Phil Simms, the aforementioned Tom Coughlin, and many, many more. The all-time great shared stories from the generations. I mean, it's a shame because, something like that, when you got these guys on the stage, I mean, my goodness, I mean, Jiminy frickin' Christmas. I'm sure Bill Parcells could have just talked for 3 hours by himself on all the stuff that was going on. Phil Simms, I'm sure he could have talked for hours. Michael Strahan, Lawrence Taylor, these guys could have gone on and on and on. You know what I mean? But the all-time great shared stories from the generations were able to interact with several current Giants, including Bobby Okereke and Kayvon Thibodeau. The event also featured a preview of the upcoming HBO series Hard Knocks, all season with the New York Giants. The short clip, which was shared by our friends over at Talkin' Giants, had several notable takeaways. Here are 5. And a lot of it was the Shane Bowen going over the defense. Now, apparently, he's going to have a 3-4-4 base defense. But as they say, the old 3-4. Right? This is what he was talking about. 3 guys, 3 defensive linemen, 2 outside linebackers, 2 inside linebackers, and 4 guys in the secondary. Hey, I don't see that happening. I don't know. In this modern day NFL, I'm not exactly sure, but I mean, who the 3 are going to be in the dirt? I mean, we're not having Dexter Lawrence, Ryder Anderson, and Nunez Roaches as 3 guys for the most part. And then, where's Burns going to be at? And where's Thibodeau? I mean, they're not going to be outside linebackers. Those guys are rushing the quarterback. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe Thibodeau is going to be one of the guys with his hand in the dirt. I don't know. No idea. But we'll wait and see. Although defensive coordinator Shane Bowen said his defense will be multiple, the base alignment will remain the same, 3-4-4. There are going to be some similarities from what you guys had before, Bowen said. So base defense, obviously the 3 D linemen on the field, 2 edge guys, 2 inside linebackers, and 4 DBs. Now, I don't know exactly what he's talking about here. I mean, once again, you're not having, Ryder Anderson, Dexter Lawrence, Nunez Roaches, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau. You're not having that. That's not happening, right? Because then that leaves you 2 inside linebackers and four guys in the secondary. That's not happening, because you want your top guys rushing the quarterback, right? So if it's a pass, right, you want Burns and you want Thibodeau rushing the quarterback. So if you got Nunez, Roaches, Dexter Lawrence, and Ryder Anderson, they're not dropping in coverage. So I don't really know what he's talking about. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Even with the 3-4 base defense, fans should not get too wrapped up in the alignment. No. Once again, as I said, you're not going to have, the outside linebackers are Kayvon and Brian Burns, and then you got 3 guys in the dirt. You're not having those 5 guys across the front. That's just stone cold crazy. I really don't. I mean, maybe occasionally, but there will be a lot of moving pieces based on down and distance. And he did mention this. He says the importance of the inside linebackers. Inside or middle linebackers are often considered the quarterback of the defense. That won't change under Bowen, who intends to rely heavily on Bobby Okereke and whoever starts next to him, whether it's Micah McFadden, Darian Beavers, don't forget about him, Matthew Adams, etc. As I said, don't forget about Darian Beavers, right? Our 2 smartest positions have to be inside backers, Bowen said. That's where the bulk of the load is going to be put. Significant role for Isaiah Simmons. I'm so happy we got him back. Especially freaking top 10 pick, number 8 in the draft overall. Just a phenomenal talent. You just got to be able to hopefully find, his knack, right? Find what he can do best and, get him, use him there most of the time, obviously, right? Isaiah Simmons is sometimes called a safety and is sometimes called a linebacker. Just throw all of those titles, positions, and labels out the window. After being re-signed earlier this year, expectations are that Simmons will play a significant role in 2024. In our minds, he will be a first and second down and nickel, and then play money or third down, the money backer, Bowen said. Simmons is going to do a little bit of everything under Bowen. So that's good, because he can do a little bit of everything. We're going to have 4 elite pass rushers. I know 3 of them, so we'll have to wait and see. But Bowen's defensive philosophy will be built upon having an elite pass rush up front with 4 guys who can disrupt the quarterback organically. I want guys that attack, Bowen said. We're going to be structured by having 4 elite pass rushers up front. 4 guys we can line up, put their damn hand down, and go win. Bowen's comments were seemingly made before the Giants acquired linebacker Brian Burns. He will be plugged in next to Thibodeau and behind nose tackle Dexter Lawrence, who is obviously a dominant interior pass rusher. But who else? Who's number 4? I mean, Azeez Ojulari, but I mean, he has a hard time staying healthy. But anyway, he did bring up Boogie Basham. He says, I think with the current roster, seeing if Boogie Basham can do that, Bowen said, is that a role for Ryder Anderson, potentially with his length. Bowen also suggested the Giants seek another interior pass rusher to take some pressure off of Lawrence. And then the Giants do have a say on the edits, so that's good. The final notable reveal of the night came following the Hard Knocks preview. General Manager Joe Schoen was asked about what may or may not appear on the show and revealed that the NFL Films has granted the Giants authority to decide on any final edits. Joe Schoen revealed tonight that NFL Films grant Giants final say on things that may or may not might be edited out of Hard Knocks for competitive reasons heading into the 2024 season. So it will be interesting to see what makes the cut. Competitive reasons is the key phrase here. Does that mean that Brian Dable, Wink Martindale blow up is still on the table? We'll find out. So we'll have to find out. But I mean, the one thing that is, it starts. I believe it's next week. I think it's Tuesday, the 2nd. So let's say, I think it's the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. You got 5 episodes. I think it's every Tuesday night in July. So basically, it's close to being the 25th. So it's close to being almost 1 week from today. Be Hard Knocks for the Giants. So 5 episodes. Very, very interesting to see. All right, then we got next, good old Daniel Bellinger, once again heading to tight end university. I'll tell you what, they can do nothing but help the guy. Let me tell you what. Following the retirement of Darren Waller, New York Giants tight end Daniel Bellinger seemed primed to make the most of an opportunity in front of him. Last week, Bellinger made it clear that that with the void left by Waller, he is ready to do whatever the team needs him to do. Whatever they need me to do, I'm going to do, Bellinger told reporters during minicamp. I'm just going to do anything they want me to do. They want me to stick my head in the dirt. Yeah, go out and scratch and catch a pass. I'm going to do whatever they want me to do. Meanwhile, in an effort to continue bettering himself, Bellinger is attending tight end university for the 3rd consecutive season, which is a fantastic idea. Absolutely. The Giants' 3rd-year tight end will have to earn the starting job over Theo Johnson, who the team selected in the 4th round of this year's draft with the status of Waller unclear. Coincidentally, Bellinger was also taken in the 4th round of his respective draft. And interesting, too, because you notice, I think Bellinger was San Diego State. I think it was interesting that they wound up taking these 2 tight ends in the 4th round, basically, and they didn't have star-studded numbers in college. Basically, they were colleges that just like to run the ball a lot. So they didn't have phenomenal numbers coming out. Quite possibly why they lasted to the 4th round, though, too. Last year, Bellinger caught the eye of both Kittle and Travis Kelce, 2 of the league's best tight ends who founded tight end university in 2021. As Bellinger continues to improve and gets accustomed to the NFL, he has made his attendance at tight end U a routine at this point. After getting bumped down on the depth chart when Waller was acquired last offseason, the Giants will now lean on Bellinger ahead of 2024. He certainly hopes to build off his impressive rookie year and reestablish himself as a reliable option for Daniel Jones. Absolutely. As far as that, it can only help him out. The coaches can teach him so much and this, that, and the other thing, but also it helps to go there and talk to the Skittle Man and Kelce and all the other guys. Everybody's out there. They're all that. That's what they're there for. Talk, make themselves better. Right? I think it's absolutely phenomenal. Get all the edge rushers together. Right, talk about their moves and stuff like that and all. But hey man, go out there and talk to Kittle, whatever, Kelce. Now talk to those guys. What do they do? Right? As far as blocking or just getting themselves open and stuff like that and everything, it can only make you better. So he should try to keep. The more you can go out there, the better. It's only going to make them better. Because, the stuff that Kelce knows, the stuff he can share, right, with Bellinger, Dable may not know or may not be able to, right? So, but, also, you got Kelce, tight end mind, talking to another Bellinger tight end, tight ends, how they think alike and, right, so it can only help them. So I think it's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And the more you can go, the better. So, because it looks like he might have a dogfight on his hands, right? We got Theo Johnson. Once again, he didn't have absolutely phenomenal numbers coming out of college, but he's already a freakish athlete. So I'm very excited. A bunch of these guys I'm really excited for. I'm really excited to see Tracy, what he can do. But Theo Johnson, very excited about him as well, too. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Then we got, it's funny here. Two Giants were named to the Sporting News All Overpaid team. Where did they come up with this? It's unbelievable. Let's do an overpaid team. New York Giants general manager Joe Schoen has spent 3 years attempting to clean up the mess led by his predecessor, maybe left by his predecessor, whatever, Dave Gettleman, and has done an admirable job. Although the team carries more dead cap than they'd like, things have largely been sorted out. But no one is perfect, and mistakes, which are subjective based on personal interpretation, are made. Vinny Iyer, I guess it is, of the Sporting News recently released his 2024 All Overpaid team, and two members of the Giants were among those listed. But before you assume quarterback Daniel Jones is one of them, pump those brakes. He isn't. Wow, I would have thought for sure. Now, I know who's on that, who these two guys are, but when I first saw this, I'm like, it's got to be Daniel Jones, but nope, it's not Daniel Jones. Obviously, they got other. Well, let's see. Hold on. All Overpaid team. Let me take a look. I did not look. Is it Deshaun Watson? They showed a picture of Deshaun Watson. Yeah. $46 million. Watson is getting this part of his $230 million in total guarantees over 5 seasons. He has gone from being suspended too much for his first season in Cleveland to being injured too much in his second season. The Browns managed to piecemeal enough good backup quarterback play led by Joe Flacco off the street to make the playoffs without him, but clearly Watson has been a massive disappointment. Oh, yeah. Yep. Watson first needs to put in a whole healthy season. Then he has to start playing at an elite level to prove he was worth the blockbuster trade and guaranteed contract that now look like absolute whiffs. Yep. Absolutely. All right, but anyway. Oh, it says here, Deshaun Watson got the nod at quarterback, saving Jones from another all-too-common round of criticism. So, which two Giants made the cut? First up was one of Shane's major offseason signings, guard John Runyon Jr. Now, the $10 million. The Giants are also overspent inside in free agency for the fading former Packer. Well, he's only played 4 seasons. Let me see. There we go. I mean, let's see. He's played 4 seasons, 2020, 21, 22, and 23, 4 seasons with the Packers. Now, to their point, I mean, his grades are not really phenomenal. And they're basically to give the guy $10 million a season. That is a bit much. I mean, last season he graded out a 54.7. Not outstanding. He did have 2022. He graded at a 60. This is once again all according to PFF, right? He in 2022 graded at a 62.6, and in 2021 was his best season. Once again, according to PFF, he graded at a 65.1. His pass blocking in 2022 was a 77, and his pass blocking in 2021 was a 71.1. His run blocking grades are in the 50s, so we're not talking nothing super spectacular here. Now maybe Carmen Basillo can maybe get a little something extra out of him, maybe get those grades up there. But I'm saying, last year, as I said, his overall offensive grade was a 54.7 at a guard, and you gave the dude $10 million. To me, that was a bit overpriced. Just looking at his grades, that's all I'm going, because I don't have the time. I don't sit down and break down tape and sit there for hours and hours and look at all the game films of John. I don't do that. Not going to do that. Don't have the time for that. Right. So when we saw you paying him $10 million a season, it was like, his grades must be pretty decent. Maybe at least in the 60s, somewhere around there. But now, it's 54. It's like, ooh. So that was, I can see a little bit, now the thing is that, there's quite possibly good and bad, okay, here, because he's supposed to, just the way it is right now, what we're looking at, as far as He's going to be next to Michael Schmitz. Okay. So hopefully he'll certainly be able to help John Michael Schmitz. Now he basically plays right guard. All right. So if you're going to put him next to Evan Neal, now hopefully if Neal does wind up winning the job at right tackle, and you got Runyon there, okay, hopefully he'll help him. Right. But you're putting Runyon in between, Schmitz, who didn't have a phenomenal season last year, and Evan Neal, who hasn't had either of his 2 seasons haven't been phenomenal. So I said, Brasilla's got his work cut out for him. I'm certainly hoping with better coaching that John Michael Schmitz will have a better season this year. If he's working on his craft, hopefully he works on his strength. Because there were times last year he was getting overpowered, okay, in the center there. So we'll have to wait and see. But I could, to their point there, I can see giving Runyon $10 million a season. He didn't have really super spectacular numbers. Then again, if he was like an all-pro, I'm sure we'd be paying a lot more than $10 million a season. But for me, when we signed him for $10 million a season, I'm like, well, this guy must have some pretty decent numbers. And I just looked at PFF, and it was like, they're not really that great, so. But we'll have to wait and see, right? We'll have to wait and see. All right, next, what do we got here? Oh yeah, this is the next one. This one, I have to disagree with that. Oh, but anyway, they got here. Runyon was a market deal, even though it was expensive. An executive from another team told The Athletic he's not a $10 million player, but that's what the market dictates, which is true as far as Runyon. He's not, but that's what the market is. Obviously the salary cap goes up, the salaries go up, right? That's what the market dictates. But he's not $10 million a year guy. So we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, the next guy for the Giants is veteran kicker Graham Gano. This I totally disagree with. Gano is limited range and has started to become less reliable on field goals at 37. How the do you know that? He was injured last season. Are you that stupid? Did you see the year before that when he just kept draining 50-something yard field goals like they were absolutely nothing? I mean, are you that stupid? Who wrote this here? Dane Benton. Yeah, I mean, he's become less reliable. How do you know that? He's 37. He hasn't kicked a field goal yet this year. He's become less reliable. He was injured last year. I mean, he had surgery. I mean, are you that stupid? Limited range. Really? He was draining 50-yard field goals 2 years ago when he wasn't injured. Yeah, that's limited. Yeah. Are you that stupid, dude? Limited range is a curious criticism of Gano before his injury-riddled 2023 campaign, which he initially tried to play through. With the injuries, Gano was about as automatic as it came. So I don't know what this moron's talking about. In 2022, Gano connected on 90.6 of his field goal attempts, including 8 of 9 from beyond 50 yards, with a long of 57. I mean, so I'm not sure what this idiot is talking about here. He's become less reliable. What a stupid idiot. Even last season, the veteran boomed one through from 57 yards out. But his career long is 63, which actually wound up beating the Giants when he was with Carolina. Right. Iyer also notes that Darren Waller would not retired. He would have been listed as the most overpaid tight end in the NFL. Instead, the honor went to Noah Fant. Noah Fant, he was the guy from the Seahawks last year who caught a 3-inch pass and ran down the sideline, and about 542 Giants somehow couldn't push him out of bounds and let him waltz all the way down the sideline for a touchdown. Another memorable moment from last season. But to be fair, I can certainly see where Runyon would be on the overpaid list. That I can certainly see that. But once again, this is from Giants Wire. Dan Benton. He's talking about being overpaid. 2 years ago, the guy was 8 out of 9 from over 50. Boom from 57, 90.6% accuracy. Last season, he was injured. I mean, he had a problem with his knee. Tried to play through it. And from what I remember, the field goal that obviously got blocked against the Cowboys, run back for a touchdown when Andrew Thomas pulls his hamstring. I thought somebody, I read that he got cleated, like somebody stepped on his foot or his ankle or something like that. So, I mean, it was just absolutely like 5 minutes into the season. It just absolutely, became a SHIT show. It was just unbelievable. But, I mean, he was injured. He tried to play through it. It didn't work out. I mean, I wish, if he was that bad, I wish, he would have not played, especially against the Jets, because if we had a field goal kicker in there, he missed a 30-something yard field goal, which would have put us up 13-7 with not much time left on the field. That means the Jets would have had to go on the length of the field and scored a touchdown, and then they would have won the game. But the way it was, because he missed a short field goal, all they had to do, they put together two 29-yard plays back-to-back or 2 19-yard plays back-to-back. Got him in field goal range. They kicked the tying field goal. Overtime, losing in overtime. But if we had a kicker who was not injured, I mean, you could probably pick up almost any kicker, who would have made a 30-something yard field goal, right? Would have put us up 13-7. Quite possibly we win that game, and that would have gave the Giants another win. But it is what it is. But I'm saying, got to, Gano tried to play through it. You got to give the guy some credit, but it just didn't work out. But I mean, to put the guy on the overpaid list, then he's not reliable anymore. Well, he was injured last season, so that's just total nonsense. I totally disagree with that. All right, next we got. Breaking down the Giants' $21.55 million in dead cap money for this upcoming season. So we got the big one is Leo the Lion, but with just weeks remaining until the start of training camp, with the Giants currently having $11.47 million in salary cap space, much of that recently cleared with the retirement of Darren Waller. However, Waller also left behind a significant dead cap hit. Better news, General Manager Joe Schoen trimmed some weight over the past year, and the team is carrying roughly $1.2 million less in dead cap space than they were at this time in 2023. Okay. According to Over the Cap, the Giants have $21.55 million in dead cap money, which is the 21st most in the NFL. That's a long distance away from a team like the Broncos, who lead the NFL with $67.65 million in dead cap money. Wow. Here's a look at the current and former Giants who are contributing to the $21.55 million in dead cap money. Leonard Williams, his dead cap number is $10.636 million. So basically, Leonard Williams is basically like half of our dead cap money. Adoree Jackson, basically he's just shy of $3 million. Okay. Darren Waller, about $2.458 million. It is what it is, right? But he retired. God bless him. I wish the man nothing but the best. I hope he can get those demons in his head cleared out, and he can, get his music and keep him happy, keep him focused, keep him on the right path and everything like that, right? Wish the man nothing but the best, but it is what it is. But we saved ourselves a lot of money too, so you got to give him that. Sean Robinson, $2.1 million. Now with him, I think we had to to sign him. We had to give him a little bit of extra money, right? So we had to push a little bit of his money into the future, meaning this season. Because if that wasn't the case, I don't think we would have had him last season. It's a shame. It's a shame we wound up losing him, because he, when he was healthy, he did pretty good toward the end of that season last year. Weren't going to get much out of him out of the in the pass rush department. But I'll tell you what, you put him next to Sexy Dexy, you got two immovable objects there. let me tell you what, Ashawn's a big man. Big man. It's just a shame we just couldn't keep him, too. That would have been a nice front four there. But anyway, so A'Shawn Robinson, $2.1 million. Mark Lewinsky, $1.5 million. Tyrod Taylor, $1.4. Ellison Smith, $189,000. Guy couldn't stay healthy, man. Darian Beavers, $103,000. Gary Brightwell, $44,000. Darius Williams, remember him? $43,000. Cameron Lyons, long snapper, $20,000. Deontay Johnson, a linebacker, $16,667. Ryan Jones, a tight end, $16,667. Jamon Green, $13,334. Baldonado, remember him from Pittsburgh, I believe it was, right? Defensive end, $10,000. Troy Brown, linebacker, $6,667. Alex Cook, a safety, $6,000. Tommy DeVito, $6,000. Toman Fox, $3,000. So yeah, we got a bunch of light guys. That's all. The thing is that this season we got 21.5. Right. Next season, 2025, we have 4.9 as of right now. Okay, so we've trimmed that down quite a bit. Now that certainly does not mean that when next year rolls around, that number won't go up some. But as of right now, only $4.9 million in dead cap money next season. And the nice thing too is in 2026 there is none. Right? Yeah, no dead cap money now. Also, the other thing, too, here is, that number will go up, okay, if we want to get rid of Daniel Jones. But it is what it is, right? So, but big season. Lots of storylines, lots of excitement, right? But, so we'll have to wait and see. But right now we have less than $5 million in dead cap money next season. So that's cool. And then finally, I'll tell you what, the Giants are shopping in the UFL grocery aisle of Kmart, apparently, maybe once again. The thing is that if they do go grocery shopping there and they wind up getting this guy, are they going to have Gunnar Olszewski and this guy on the 53 and on the active roster? I mean, just as returners, maybe. I don't know, because those 53 spots are valuable, very valuable, right? So we got report: Giants have been in contact with UFL return specialist Juwan Manigo, Manigo, Manigo. I'm going to say. I am a moron, okay? I'm horrible with names, but it's Juwan Manigo, I do believe. If I pronounce that wrong, I do apologize. Because once again, I am a moron, right? I'm not great with names. With the NFL altering its kickoff rules ahead of the 2024 regular season, the Giants continue to monitor the football landscape for potential advantages. Absolutely. One such advantage could come by way of UFL return specialist Juwan Manigo, who is nicknamed Sonic. He's small. He's small. A to Z Sports reports that both the Giants and Tennessee Titans have been in contact with Manigo, who finished third in the UFL in all-purpose yards with 1,116 all-purpose yards this past season. The Giants have recently been in contact with the former UFL kick returner and wide receiver, but as I said, he's only 5'7". At 26 years old, Manigo has been a true special teams weapon as a pro football player in both the UFL and with the Arlington Renegades and with the Chihuahua Cordillos of the Mexican Pro Football League, the LFA. Wow. Okay. The 5'7" Manigo played college football at Delaware Valley University. I tried to look it up on on PFF, but they don't have they basically have, if you're not coming from Alabama or Notre Dame or something like that, they don't have a lot of those smaller schools. So I couldn't find nothing on him, right? So he played at Delaware Valley University before signing with the XFL's Arlington Renegades last June. He survived the merger and excelled on special teams. Manigo was second in the league with 954 kick return yards and averaged 22.18 yards per return. He added 123 yards on 14 punt returns, or an 8.8 yard average. Now, I mean, obviously, if they were going to get him, right? See, Olszewski, right, is not a kickoff returner. He would be our punt returner. But if they were to possibly, he's a wide receiver as well too. Okay, so if they were to get him, he quite possibly might be the punt returner and the kick returner. Let's see here. Manigo was rarely used on offense, holding in just 6 receptions for 32 yards, so 5 yards of reception. Right. The Giants won't shy away from signing UFL players if they feel it will improve their roster. So any interest in Manigo is genuine. Now, let's see here. Okay, so last year, okay, well, actually, it was this past season, 2024. Let's see, kickoff returns. He had 43 kickoff returns for 952 yards. He had a long of 45, 22.1 yards per return. Punt returns. He returned 13 punts, 120 yards. He only had 1 fair catch. So, guy don't fair catch the ball. Gutsy. Got to like that. His long punt return was 22 yards. He averaged yards 9.2 yards per return. But he muffed 1 punt though. Okay. Once again, so I'm going. His overall return grade was an 81.9. Okay. His kickoff return grade was an 85.4. Basically that's his only grades that he has. It was kick returns. Let's see here. Offense. He played a grand total of 81 snaps on offense the whole season. So he wasn't. His offensive grade was a 54.7. So I mean, it's like what they said. He didn't get put in a whole heck of a lot on offense. But the interesting thing, and the same thing with Gunnar Olszewski, right? If he makes the 53, if he's in there on game day and all and everything, he would be whatever our wide receiver number, our 7th wide receiver, whatever. So chances are he's not going to get on the field either as far as a wide receiver, unless we somehow totally get decimated during the game at wide receivers, right? But if we do go his route with Manigo, that's how you pronounce it. I do apologize. But if we go with him, quite possibly he could be the punt returner and a kickoff returner. And he could be our wide receiver number 7. So that might make Gunnar Olszewski maybe expendable. Because Gunnar also got a little nicked up there too, okay, in the OTAs. He's supposed to be, as far as I know, he's supposed to be back. What Dable's talking about, he's kind of hoping everybody will be back, ready to go, ready to rock and roll on the 24th, but who knows. But the thing is with Olszewski, okay, he can be wide receiver number 7, but basically he's just a punt returner, all right? They don't necessarily seem to want to maybe use him as a kickoff returner. So we'll have to wait and see. But if we go with this guy from the UFL, he could be maybe the punt and a kickoff returner. So we'll have to wait and see. But I just saw this article. It just said that they've been in contact. Didn't say they brought him in. Didn't say they signed him. Didn't say this. Didn't say anything like that. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, guys. Been 1 hour and 4 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you, guys. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you as always. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.